This right next to me is the updated, facelifted 2024 Toyota Hilux, which is now offered as a mild hybrid. And Toyota refers this as V-Active technology. And in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. First, a brief overview of its model range and options. Then we're going to move on to the changes to the design, as well as the interior, its technology, the practicality, the tray, and of course the upgrades to the powertrain. And then I'm going to take it out for a drive. Let's start the review talking about a brief overview about the facelifted Hilux. So specifically in this video, we're going to focus on the 48-volt versions, which is available on the SR, SR5 and the Toyota Hilux Rogue. And the variant I'm featuring in the review is the top-selling SR5, which is priced from around 60,000 Australian dollars before on-road costs. And in relation to options specific to the SR5 for $2,500, you could get it with a premium package, which includes heated electric leather seats. And in terms of colours, you have 6 to pick from. White is a no-cost option, whereas the others will set you back $675. And in relation to the SR5's rivals, it is the type of vehicle that you're going to compare with the Mitsubishi Triton, Isuzu D-Max, and of course the Ford Ranger. And lastly, I would like to thank Southern Highland Toyota in Moss Vale for allowing me to film their demonstrator. And if you're in the market for a Hilux, they have stock arriving very soon, and of course a professional and knowledgeable sales team. And I'll put a link down in the description below if you want to get in contact with them. Okay, let's now move on to the design. So the colour of this example is finished off in Eclipse Black, and in regards to the changes to the exterior, it now features a slightly redesigned bumper bar, and in addition to that, it also features full automatic LED headlights along with the self-leveling function, and you also get full LED DRLs and LED fog lights down the bottom. And now moving towards the side view of the Toyota Hilux, it is sitting on 18-inch alloy wheels that are finished off in gloss black and also feature brushed aluminium, and also complemented by the flared wheel arches. And down the bottom you have some side steps, and moving along the top it also features privacy glass and gloss black exterior mirrors and door handles, opposed to chrome like what was featured on the previous SR5. And now moving towards the redesign of the Toyota Hilux, from the back it features part LED tail lights with halogen bulbs for the indicators and reversing lights. But aside from that, you do have Toyota spelt out on the tailgate, which is very traditional for the Hilux. And down the bottom here, a black rear bumper bar with some plastic cladding on the top here. And looking lower down, it also features a factory fitted tow bar, as the Hilux does feature a towing capacity of 3.5 kilograms. And as styling is subjective, write down your feedback in the comment section down below of what you guys think of the revised Hilux. Let's now move on to the interior inside the Hilux. So before you climb inside, you have a remote key along with keyless entry and push ignition start. It also features Toyota connected services, so that means you can download an app on your phone to have a look at the vehicle status, have a look where it's parked, and also have a look at the fuel range as well. So the interior design of the Toyota Hilux. Look, this car has been on sale since 2015, so of course compared to the latest Ford Ranger, it doesn't look or feel as high-tech, and the overall design layout is fairly basic. But in fairness to Toyota, I think that is how the Hilux customers like their vehicles. And in relation to how the cabin feels, on the top surface, it is hard plastic, and down the bottom it does start to get a bit durable, even towards the center, on the top of the doors, and even lower down. But you do get soft elbow padding and a soft to the touch armrest, and what Toyota refer as a premium steering wheel on the SR5, which feels fairly okay to hold. And moving on to comfort, the steering offers both tilt and reach manual adjustment, and as standard it has dual zone climate control, and it does come with cloth seats with manual adjustment. However, this has been fitted with the $2,500 premium package, so that includes black accented leather, and for the driver you have electric seat adjustment and manual adjustment for the passenger. But aside from that, both front row seats can be heated. And moving on to technology, it all runs off this 8-inch touchscreen, which also features physical knobs and buttons. And in regards to its key features, if I go into audio, it has FM and AM radio, along with DAB digital radio, USB input, Bluetooth, Miracast phone mirroring, and a 6-speaker stereo system. And if you go back into the home screen, you have satellite navigation, which is fairly clear and responsive. You've also got voice control for the navigation and other key items. And you can also sync it in with Siri integration, which brings me on to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which this does have, but it is still wired. And if we move on to safety and assistance, specific to the SR5, it receives a surround view camera, front and rear parking sensors, along with parking guidelines. And if I push view on the right hand side, as you can see, that is another shortcut to go into the 360 menu. And if you push it again, it shows you a view of your front wheels. And in relation to other key safety items, it has autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection. And on the mirrors, blind spot monitoring, along with adaptive cruise control so you can set the distance between the vehicle in front of you, and a lane departure alert, however no steering assist, as this does feature a hydraulic setup opposed to electric steering. And if we move on to the analog gauge cluster, as you can see, the layout is fairly simple, and you do also have a 4.2-inch display in the center, which shows you information like your fuel consumption, as well as navigation, media functions, and an assistance menu. And down towards here, you have your four-wheel drive selector, so two-wheel drive high range, four-wheel drive high range, and four-wheel drive low range. And this button here is to lock the rear differential, and you've also got hill descent control. And towards the center is your drive mode selector, so you have a multi-terrain select, and you've also got on-the-road drive modes like eco, normal, and sport. And lastly, practicality. So up the top here, you have some grab handles. There is also a sunglasses holder, and looking towards the center, you've got decent storage towards here with a 100-watt power outlet. Additional space here with a spot there for a mobile phone and a small cup holder, and also an inclusion on this update, wireless phone charging. And there is also a single USB-A port along with two 12-volt sockets. And on the doors, decent door bin storage that could also fit a bottle of water. There are also these pop-out cup holders on either side of the dashboard. And finally, a dual glove box setup, which overall is fairly spacious. Let's now move on to the back seats inside the Hilux. So I'm a full-size adult, and this front seat is set my driving position. And from what we can see, there is a decent amount of knee room, toe room, and a decent amount of headroom as well. And in regards to other key features, towards the center you have directional air vents, and in regards to the 2024 model year, the Hilux now receives dual USB-C ports at the back. You've also got these grab handles along here and some grab handles up the top here, mat pockets behind the front seats along with some shopping bag hooks. And towards the center, there is a fold-down armrest with two small cup holders and decent door bin storage that could also fit a bottle of water. This lower section also lifts up, revealing additional capacity and a small section to keep valuables hidden. And lastly, for baby seats, these two outboard seats are ISOFIX compatible, and behind me there are two top tether points. Let's now move on to the tray. So if I open this up, as you can see, as part of the 2024 update, it features dampers. So that means it's easier to open and close compared to the previous Hilux, and Toyota refers to this as the tailgate lift assist. And in regards to the tray itself, as you can see, the space is quite usable, and in relation to key dimensions and specifications, all of that information is on your screen now. However, it is worth mentioning that you don't get a tonneau cover or a spray and bed liner, instead just bare metal, as those are accessories you need to fit at your local dealer. But you do get a black powder coated sports bar at the top, along with some tie down points on either side of the tray, and down the bottom a full size spare tyre. Let's now move on to the powertrain. So under the bonnet features a 2.8 litre turbocharged diesel engine that is paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission, along with part-time four-wheel drive. And in regards to the changes Toyota have made with this V Active version, it has a motor generator along with a 48-volt battery, and it also receives a new idle stop start system and a DC to DC converter to the 2.8 litre diesel engine. And as a result to these upgrades, it is 10% more efficient. And in relation to ownership details, key specifications, all that information is on the screen now. It also has the same power as before, so 150 kilowatts, however 80 newton meters more than the standard 2.8 litre diesel, so 550 newton meters. However, there are no internal changes, so you still get ventilated discs up the front and drum brakes at the rear, along with the leaf spring rear suspension setup. And the Hilux sits on a ladder frame chassis, so this is a body on frame vehicle like its other rivals. Let's now move on to the driving impressions, starting off with visibility. I can clearly see what's in front of me. You've also got large wing mirrors, good side vision, and a decent rear window as well. And in regards to how this drives at lower speeds, it does sit on a ladder frame chassis, so of course when you roll around it does move about a little bit, which is typical for a dual cab ute. Internally, nothing has changed. So that means the ride is a little bit on the firm side, and the seats are also quite firm, but again, this was built to be tough and off-road capable. And in terms of how this drives at lower speeds, it does feature a power-assisted rack and pinion setup opposed to an electric steering setup like what is featured on a Ford Ranger. So that means the steering feels quite natural, and it also has a turning circle radius of 11.8 meters. And the steering also feels quite heavy, especially when you're maneuvering it around a parking space, but when you do speed up, it does lighten it up a little bit. In terms of the changes with this 48 volt version, it does have a lower idle speed, so at lower speeds and when you take off, it is a lot smoother in terms of the way it delivers its performance. It does feature a lower idle speed, and it's also 10% more efficient, so it has a combined fuel consumption readout of 7.2 litres per 100. Because this is a brand new car, the fuel consumption readout isn't accurate. It's only travelled just under 40 kilometres, but you could expect a readout between 8 and 9 litres, which is pretty good for a dual cab ute. And in regards to acceleration, it's pretty punchy. It does the job, and with that mild hybrid, you do feel a bit of a difference. Good takeoff, good refinement, and at high speeds, it isn't noisy. And as you can hear, there is hardly any wind noise. So with my driving impressions out of the way, let's now wrap up with a verdict. So what is my final verdict on the facelifted Toyota Hilux? Well, the V-Active technology does improve the refinement slightly, and of course adds on better fuel economy. It is, however, a minor facelift with minor improvements, and therefore it doesn't look as modern as some of its other rivals. But if that doesn't matter to you, and if you're wanting the most dependable and reliable cars on the road, it is still one of the class-leading utes in the segment. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next film. Thanks for watching.